To the Rock House and friends, a toast. Takes its toll. Listen closely.
Not for very much longer.
Got you. Keep control.
Playa?
What's up there, Pete?
Just making friends.
Really?
A lot of smiley friends.
Nice. Anyway, well, Puxatani Phil, that little fucking rodent.
Rat bastard.
Saw his shadow, right?
Yeah.
6 more weeks.
6 more.
Who knows how accurate that is?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna pop in, okay?
Hey, fly, pelican, fly.
Fly, pelican, fly. So polluted.
I never liked that piece of shit. You see that?
I like the Channel 9 version myself. I like when it's dubbed poorly.
I like
you know, when he goes, like when Omar Swarzy is hanging from the helicopter.
Yeah.
He says, "There are 2 things I don't break: My Word and My Balls.
My balls
But
and my
on,
word.
on Channel 9, it's My Word and My Word. They didn't want to say balls, you know. Two things I don't bring. My word and my word. Hey, Tony, that's one. I'm just sorry. Can't say it twice.
That's 2 words. 2 words.
That's not two. That's one. Anyway.
So, dude, how many bands are you in now? I'm losing track with everybody.
Well, I do the Generations. Okay?
Yeah.
And Rob Stepen, you know, we're gonna have him on again shortly. He's booking some stuff out. But Rob understands that. I mean, I'm obviously, I have other bands that I'm
You're a
dealing
busy
with.
guy.
So, yeah, I'm a busy guy. So I mean, I can't always commit. But right now, I'm committed for the gigs that are coming up. And our big TV thing got moved to, I think it's February 20. It was supposed to be on CBS last week, but Jackie Kostek and the producer both got sick. So now it's going to be on February 27th on Channel 2. I think it's at 9:45 in the morning. So we got that coming up. And then Generations has March 6th at the Epiphany Center and March 8th at the Arcada, opening up for the Sons of Cream.
Ooh. It's a very...
I don't know how that sounds dirty.
yeah, whatever.
It sounds dirty. Anyway, so
Fantastic.
yeah, we got that coming up, and then we got some other stuff. Again, I haven't been going crazy with the bookings even on the other bands. We got this coming Saturday. Obviously, this is going to air after that, but if it doesn't, if we were airing it, February, what are we at here? 6th? Is that 6th? No, 7th. February 7th. This Saturday, we're going to be at Carmel High School with the Mosquitoes for their annual street scenes. That's where they close the whole school down and they have bands in all the classrooms. So we're doing that on Saturday, and that's kind of I got actually a busy February coming up. We got I got the Black Diamond sessions on the 19th at the Wooden Nickel. That's our third Thursday. Black Diamond sessions on the 14th at Mad Cats.
Oh.
Valentine's Day. Bring your Valentine to Mad
Bring your
Cats.
stage.
Yeah. And then February 27th at Side Outs in Island Lake with the Black Diamond. So 3 Black Diamond sessions, 1 Mosquito gig. That's 4 for the month of Feb for those counting. And then the TV appearance. There you go.
So what are you going to wear for TV, Mike?
Clothes.
I think you need Ricky Ricardo right there.
No, I gotta have the
know.
generation. I got a Generations T-shirt.
Oh,
I
that's
got a
right.
hat. Yeah, I'm gonna have something on top of the Generation, so I kind of look semi-cool. But
You got a dress code?
no, I mean, but you're gonna be on TV. You don't want to look. You want to look like a schlep.
What? You want to look like a schlep here?
Yeah, I don't mind looking like a schlep here. Totally fine.
Mark, you look like a schlep.
Mark, we can't see you.
I'm trying to figure out why.
There you go.
I'm literally looking at you guys. Okay, hold on.
There's a little
Answer
video.
to the camera. Okay.
Oh,
There
hey!
we go.
How
Hey.
come you're sideways?
Am I sideways? I'm straight up on mine, and you guys are sideways.
Huh?
Turn your phone that way.
All right.
The other way. Yeah, I don't think I could interview you on sideways.
All right.
All
Okay.
right.
Oh, wait. Hey.
See, you guys have the nice landscape thing going on, so I was trying to replicate that, but my phone was like, nay.
Nay.
Help desk is
not in my
closed, Mark.
house.
Looking great. Is that a beanbag or?
No, actually, it's just kind of like a retro looking leather couch that my wife got. I like it. It's kind of reminiscent of like an old '60s jukebox,
Yeah. No, very cool. It's
I like it.
you should have said it was a beanbag because that is freaking awesome.
It does look like a beanbag now you mention it. A very large beanbag.
Dude, totally a beanbag.
Totes, man. Totes.
The viewership just went through the roof.
There's this company called Lovesack that makes this like Jethro-sized beanbag that basically replaces your entire like furniture in your living room. My wife really wants to get one of those. I might surprise her with one day.
I got to tell you, I went to that Lovesack place a couple of years ago to get a couch, and I saw that beanbag. It's ginormous, And
could
it's
lose a
not cheap.
toddler
I
there
want
for
to say it's probably like $500 for that beanbag.
I think it had a comment on the price, but yeah, those things are ginormous. You could like lose a toddler there for like 2 days.
Wait, there's a place called Love Sack.
Yeah. And
Yes.
it's well, hang on. Let me just say this. If you've ever been to, it's in Old Orchard, that's where I went. And what it is it's you can buy a couch in pieces and it can be configured in different, shapes, and so it's like sectionals that you can buy. It's also the most expensive couch I think I've ever seen. I mean, it was really comfortable and it was really nice, but I want to say for like 5 pieces to make a sectional, it was going to be like $4,000. It was very expensive.
You know what's coming into vogue is blow up furniture. People used to make fun of it. Seriously, there's with no spine, you just blow it up, and you need to move a sofa, bam.
I got
There's
a chair.
There's a
I got a
whole
chair.
can of worms and jokes to be made on that one right now. I'm not even going to touch that one.
I got a chair that's a blow up chair. It's deflated right now because it was taking up room. But it is nice when you want to get rid of the furniture, you just deflate it and put it in a corner.
See what happens when you start to show off with the nutsack shop?
It's Love Sack. It's not Nutsack. But we've digressed.
Well, we do.
digressed.
Yeah, that happens around me a lot. Sorry. I apologize.
Well, I think, Mark, today you've got Pete and myself. Mr. Chris Rhodes, he said he might pop in, but he is in Vegas at a show. And he's got to work.
He may pop in for a cameo appearance.
He might. And no guarantees. And Mr. Dermont, I don't know.
He's eating Jell-O in the commissary.
He's eating Jell-O. Nice. So you got us tonight, and we are very, very happy to have you, Mark. So welcome to the Hogpod podcast.
Mark, what band are you in?
A lot of you guys might know me from My Metal Heart. I also recently have joined Members Only, the 80s band. And your guy, Chris, talked me into stepping away from behind the drum set and being the front man in his Tesla tribute band, now our Tesla tribute band, FiveMan tribute band.
I like it. So
wait, is that for real, Bongo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Their debut performance is going to be on February 15th at the Broken Oar. They're doing the annual concert for Gordy. That's what they did last year. And this year they're going to have some bands coming up, and that's one of the bands that's going to be doing, I don't know how many songs, Mark, you guys are doing.
I think 4.
4. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Stolen night in the red sky.
Unless they need us to vamp for a fifth song while the guitar player, they're trying to find a guitar player from the other band or something.
Well, this is all great stuff. So we had Lisa, what was her last name?
Ordunas, yes.
Ordunas. We had her on from Members Only about a month ago. My Metal Heart, we've had on Elise, but we have not had on like Dan or anybody else from there. But that's another great band. And now we've got you on, so you're kind of taking us full circle on those bands. But before we jump into that, Mark, before we get to that stuff, I want you to take us back to the beginning when you started playing drums originally.
Oh, like way back.
Yeah, just, you could be cliff noted. Just give us a little brief history of your background, and then we'll bring it up to speed to today with the three bands.
All right, let's see how quickly I can do this. My first drum hero, everybody else was it was John Bonham. It was Mickey. Yeah, it was Mickey Hart from the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, sure.
No. Me, I wanted to be Mickey Dolenz. That was my man.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was 5 and I saw him on TV, and then and I was like, that's the coolest guy in the group. And then I started playing and learning how to play, and then like a decade after I've been playing, and like someone reveals to me that he wasn't even playing on the TV show, and and it was like, has my whole life been a lie? Yeah, it traumatized me for like 4 days. But I digress.
Last one standing.
Yeah, he is. And I'm hoping to catch him in concert because I do want to shake his hand and let him know that he is the inspiration that caused my entire musical career. That was the foundation. That was the catalyst. I basically started taking lessons at a really young age. I auditioned for my first professional gig when I was 14. There was a local theater production doing Grease, and I auditioned to be in the pit band. And all the guys had been playing as long as I'd been alive, thought, oh, isn't that cute? He's auditioning. And they thought it was less cute when I got the gig. And that kind of started every other kid worked at McDonald's or a fast food place for minimum wage, busting tables from the time I was 14 years old on. My job was I was playing the Chicago club scene. 21, I went on vacation to Las Vegas, and I was there to visit a buddy of mine that had moved there with family, and we went to an open mic jam just to make some noise, play some music, have some fun. While I was at the jam, I accidentally landed a gig with a casino showroom band, and I didn't come home for 19 years. So I went on vacation to Las Vegas for 19 years, and I played full time for a living in Vegas, LA, Atlantic City. on-call recording session guy for like 2 of the studios in Vegas, 1 in LA. Yeah, I got paid to goof off for about 2 decades.
So is that your job now? I mean, that you're a full-time drummer?
No, it's not my primary source of income anymore. It was a really great run, but it kind of ran its course. And when I became a daddy, I mean, that was fun and I guess impressive in its own right. But like the single greatest accomplishment of my life was becoming a daddy. And that happened at the exact moment when the economy took a complete face plant. And all the work that I had in town dried up. And in order to make the money I was making to support the family, instead of being in town, I would have had to take like 3 months on a cruise ship, 6 weeks in Atlantic City,
Sure.
you know, being away for weeks and months at a time. And I was like, I'm gonna miss so many firsts, the first tooth, the first word. And I'm like, I'm not about that. So I started, so for the travel stuff, I just started getting my subs, understudies and stuff, giving them the travel gigs and just working, whatever was there in town, got a day job. So I had medical and dental benefits. And it dawned on me that since I don't drink, I don't gamble, I don't party, the only thing that I really liked about Vegas is what I was playing for a living. And I thought, if I'm only gigging part-time and working a job, I can do that anywhere. And my wife was really missing Chicago back home. And I was being a new dad, I started looking at the quality of the public education systems in Nevada. And I realized quickly that they were like 49th out of 50 states running for like 3 years in a row. And I'm like, these dummies are not teaching my child. So we came back home, which turned out to be a really smart move because he's 16 now. And I found out that we're basically raising young Sheldon. So if we
Brilliant kid, huh?
Yeah. His math and science skills were testing at a junior and college level when he was in like 8th grade, kind of stupid.
Nice.
I've lost the ability to help him with his homework like 2 years ago. Yeah, he's brilliant and he's going to surpass me in probably every possible way, and I couldn't be prouder.
Did you have milk delivered to your house?
Milk delivered to my house? No, I did not.
Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I know where you're going. I know where you're going with this, but no, no. The giveaway is that if you see him standing next to me, he doesn't look like a son. He looks like a clone. I've posted pictures of him on Facebook and had friends that I grew up with thinking that I posted a Throwback Thursday picture. And he did absolutely inherit our family's sense of humor in there. So he's very, very much somehow it's like my wife got into the mix in there, and anything that they could have maybe added on somehow became a multiplier, and he became this exponential version of me.
Nice.
So Mark, when you were doing the Chicago scene, give me like what did the scene look like? Where did you play? Like who was some of the bands that you played with? Let's reminisce. Let's put a log on the fire, Mark.
Yeah, let's do it.
You mean back in the day or when I returned to Chicago?
Back in the day, in your youth.
Oh, wow. I mean, some of the standouts, the Thirsty Whale, Cats.
The Thirsty Whale. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. They were some of the fun ones. Cats was hilarious because it was in this strip mall, but they wanted it to look like a rock star, and so it had this low strip mall ceiling, but then they put this big stage in there, in the fog and the lights and stuff like that. And every time you played there, the portable sun power cans were like 2 feet for the back of you. I would literally get like sunburn on the back of my neck and shoulders every time I played that club.
The only thing between you and 200 watts of death is a waxy film.
Exactly. It was an ongoing joke about, were you playing Cats? Oh, better pack your sunscreen. Yeah. But it was a great club.
Rhodes, welcome. Look who we got here.
What's up, Disco Snoop?
How you doing?
I'm doing. How you doing?
I appreciate it. I got the jazz hands.
That'd be a great pick.
I'm calling in from our Las Vegas location today.
Oh, are you with Mindy Shulman by any chance?
I am going to see Mindy for dinner this evening, as a matter of fact.
Very nice.
Yeah, we
With
were
some
just
chicky and Pete's.
we were just discussing Vegas being my stomping ground for like 19 years.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
So did
Oh,
you,
yeah.
Mark, when you were there, so you got a house there, you were living there, was it an apartment? What were you doing? Are
Oh
you
no. I got paid very handsomely to goof off in that town. I had a nice house, a three-car garage. The third car section was for a drum collection. Yeah, I lived pretty comfortably there, and like I said, it was getting paid to goof off. It was a very interesting time because it was also the lion's share of it was before they invented cell phone cameras. There was a lot of shenanigans to be had. I was on the fly on the wall for some of these shows. Like you're just like, put it this way. We've all seen the movie The Hangover, right?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
I have witnessed no less than 9 evenings of that caliber in my time there.
Wow.
Out there. The only difference being I was the sober fly on the wall. So instead of like everybody having to piece it together like Sherlock Holmes to find out what the heck happened, they just woke up in the morning and were like, "My God, Mark, what happened last night?" You're not gonna believe what happened.
Yeah.
Come on, Mark. How many times you popped out of a trunk?
Myself, none. I have received lap dances mid-song. That has happened.
Okay, there you go.
Show of hands, how many of you guys have ever actually performed at a nudist colony?
Oh.
No.
Yes, that was a fun one.
Did you actually have to be the naked drummer, or?
You know, actually, they gave us the option. If you weren't comfortable, you didn't have to be naked. Do whatever you like. And I opted to wear swimming trunks, and then I had my my snare drum in front of me, so I kind of looked naked. My bass player was like, "When in Rome."
Did your sock fall out?
Yeah, I had his bare ass coming up, shaking his bare ass in front of me half the night.
Put it
This is
away.
mildly
Oh yeah, no, I
disturbing.
welted his ass with a stick so fast, like, "Ow! Say my name."
Well, back then, Vegas, I'm thinking back, when I first started going to Vegas for shows for work, it was back in like 97, 96, 97. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Vegas was,
Different.
it was different. It was, well, first of all, you still had your glitz and your glamour, and you still had your old Las Vegas, Fremont Street. But, Jesus, you could go get a all-you-can-eat buffet for $19.99. Most
Sure.
clubs, they didn't charge you a cover. The beers weren't ridiculously priced. You could drink at the casinos. They give you a drink if you were sitting at a table. Jesus, now you go there and it's every time you turn around, it's big money. I mean,
Yeah.
get into a club, it's $25 to walk in the door, maybe more.
And they're charging you $30 to park.
The park.
Oh,
Yeah, it was parking was
more than that.
free, and
If
I
you're
mean,
lucky.
Yeah, more than that.
it just changed in like the days of the free beers and the inexpensive buffets, and even obviously you had the classy hotels, but you had some lower type hotels that you could go to. And I don't even think those are around anymore. It's all big money.
Some of those were the absolute most fun gigs ever.
I'm sure. What was the place? Something Station. They always had live bands there.
Oh, Palace Station.
Palace Station, yeah. Yeah, I went to some of those places, like I said, back in the day, and the last couple of times I went to Vegas, I was just like, man, every time I turn around, I'm getting soaked for money here. I can't afford to go to that town for more
Well, it's
than a day.
crazy. When you were last there, Bongo, I think the Mirage was going up and the Mirage is torn down. I mean,
Well, no, I was there. I went last year for the first time in several years. So I went to the Sphere to go see Dead and Company. And, granted, I was only there a handful of days, 3 days. But I just like everything, every time I turned around, it was like, everything was expensive. It was just a lot of money. It was spent several $100s in a very short period of time.
well, they are hurting. Mark, are you in touch with any of your Vegas pals, or you cut them all off because they're trying to
Oh,
borrow money
goodness,
from you?
God. Absolutely still very good friends with them. Every other year or so, my wife does roller derby. So they have the roller derby convention there every year. So usually like every other year we try to make it, roller con. So she goes, and while she's out participating in Fight Club on wheels. I go and just text my buddies, hey, who's playing where? And I just go out and watch them, and then every time they see me, they're like, hey, we got a special appearance to Mark. You remember Mark? Hey, come on up and play. And then so I'll spend the evening stopping at, one or two places a night for 6 days and sit in with 8 to 12 different bands playing a different genre of music every time. Vegas is a very different vacation experience for me than it is for most people.
You got roots.
Yeah, because there was one time when we were there and all the roller derby girls were hanging out. My wife were like, what are we going to do? Like, oh, Mark used to be here. He used to live here. Let's follow him.
Did they make you wear skates?
And I had this entourage of derby girls following me like 5 different showrooms in like 2 nights. And every single time I walked into a place, like everyone acted like, Mark's here. And they had this impression of me like I was like some major player in Vegas, because like everywhere we go, everybody's pulling Mark on the stage and stuff. But it's I didn't have the heart to tell them. I'm like, well, I kind of set it up that way because I find out where my buddies were. If I went to the showroom right next door, they'd be like, who's that guy? But I was perceived by my wife's teammates as a really big deal. It's funny. They were like, everyone knows her. I'm like, everybody knew me in that room, and that room. Just don't walk me into the other 17 with an eye shot. But
Yeah.
Do you find that back in the day when you were playing that they were using more real drum sets and now they're using primarily electronic drum sets?
That has gone through phases up and down every time that for the 19 years I was there. I think they went through that full cycle like 3 times.
Okay.
It's like it's all acoustic drums, they mic it up, so then they start complaining of volume, we want it there, then they get electronic drums.
Yeah.
And electronic drums worked for a few months, but the problem with electronic drums is they're
electronic.
well, they're not as durable as acoustic drums. And when you have a house drum set, you don't really have control over, do you have a person who plays with dynamics, or do you have Mongo bashing on? So it's a matter of time before they start damaging components, things aren't triggering right, things are, you have signal failure in the middle of a show, and all of a sudden there's no more bass drum. And then when you break an electronic piece, it's a lot. You break an electronic bass drum, it's way more expensive to repair or replace than replace a bass drum head.
Yeah.
And then after a while, they get sick of that. They bring back, then one showroom brings back the acoustic drums, and then everybody follows suit. That lasts for a couple of years until you get enough of the people. Because when you're playing there, it's a constant battle. The sound guy's trying to make it sound good and full in the room. And there's a casino pit boss that's standing right on the outside of the place with the decibel going, it's too loud.
Yeah.
So they're fighting the volume. And eventually that guy wins that battle, and the electronic drums come in and they're happy with the volume. And then after a while, the sound guy's like, this sucks. I like it for the first 3 months. Once shit starts breaking, I always have an electronic drum set in my collection because that's what I practice on at home. My acoustic drums are almost entirely in cases waiting for a show. It got to the point where some of these showrooms, while they were still at the tail end of the electronic phase, it's like I would bring in the pad. I would bring in the pad for the bass drum, snare, hi-hat, and crash cymbals off of my set. Take their broken ass shit down, stick mine on, then they're plug them in, play it, and then when I'm done, take my stuff home. Well, it was also fun too because everybody always had to have the best electronic drum set. So at the time there was a Roland TD10. That's what I had at the house. So I programmed all my custom drum sets, stuck the memory card into it. When I got to the showroom, I'd back up their set, stick the card in, get all my custom sets, sound like a rock star, and then when I go back, put all their broken ass shit back up.
Yeah, right.
Program their sets in there, and I was the only guy that sounded awesome in the showrooms.
I know this is the Chicago music scene podcast, and
I was going to say,
we're talking about Vegas, but could you kind of you spent 2 decades in Vegas? You were in Chicago, then you went to Vegas, and you came back. Can you contrast the different music scenes? And is it similar to Nashville Nashville, but with warmer weather? Like, how would you?
Yeah, you tend to get a lot more like Nashville. You tend to see a lot of guys that are relying on tips on there. Vegas just paid everybody really good. And the other thing that was nice about Vegas is everything's in this little bowl. There wasn't a single place that you would play that was more than a 40-minute drive.
Yeah.
If corner to corner of Vegas, that's all you had. So it was really, you know, like
I guess
people are like, oh, that's like a half-hour
Yeah,
drive to that gig, and I was like, so.
But that stage, when you first walk on the Fremont stage, whatever that stage is called there, is that like the entry point and you morph from there? Like, how does it work? How do you get your foot in the door in Vegas? Let's just say Bongo Mike and Rhodesy and myself just went out there. Like, where would we get a gig at first and work our way up?
Wow, there's a whole lot of who you know happening in that town.
Yep.
You'd have to find a booking agent that would want to take a chance on an out of state band. Not impossible. You just have a few more hoops to jump through. I'm a kind of a bad example of that because my sister Carrie calls me Ferris Bueller because I've literally skated through life having things just fall in place for me. And my example, I wasn't looking for a gig. I was on vacation, and at an open mic jam, this band that was auditioning a drummer at the place wasn't impressed with the guy they brought, and said, "Hey, sit in with this round of four for us." And I was like, "Okay." Didn't think anything of it. 3 songs in, they all looked around and said, "You want a gig?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like a job? They're like, "Yeah." "What's it pay?" And he smiles and says, "A lot." Okay, and that's how I ended up staying there for 19 years. So even as that band ran its course and other things in there, by the time I got picked up and placed in the scene. And then by the time that petered out, all the other acts that were looking for, keep replacing musicians and stuff like that. I was already in there. Oh, that guy, call him, see if he's available. I was never the guy that booked the bands or talked to the. I was really fortunate that I ended up in the right place at the right time, and that entire time, all I did was wait for the phone to ring.
Nice. So would you say, Mark, when you were doing that, and again, we're going back now a few years, you guys were primarily not tribute acts, but you were just playing a variety of cover tunes, right? It wasn't original music back then, right?
Yeah, the showrooms, the day job was all covers.
Covers, yeah. Okay.
And there were some fun ones. I got to do 7 months with the Prince tribute band Purple Rain out there.
Nice.
Their drummer took a tour in Europe for a while. And that one, it was all covers, but it was also really specific. So a lot of it was really specific acts.
Yeah.
Very specific genres. This is what they hired you for. Some bands were more serious, and other ones really allowed me to goof off, which is really fun. But it was.
Did any times when you had to like wear costumes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some interesting. I think that my favorite one was the Prince tribute band we're talking about because everybody dressed up from a member of Prince's band from like the different eras of each of the albums, and for some reason they thought it would be really funny to dress this 135-pound scrawny white guy up as Michael Bland, which was the 400-pound black guy that dressed in the African robe. So they took the scrawny guy and they put me in an African dashiki and the robes and stuff. And I was so on board with it because it was so ridiculous. I'm like, hey, what do you think of it? I'm like, oh my God, yes.
Hey, just think, it could have been worse. You could have been Sheila E.
Hey,
I was going there, Bongo.
Yeah, you knew it, right? I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, well, they're going to have you be Sheila E. And the reason why I ask about the costumes, Mark, is I remember being in Vegas. You might even know this band. They were pretty popular out there. I remember we went to the Club Rio, and they had a band called Dr. Funkenstein. And I don't know if you knew who these guys were, but that was one of the first times I saw a band like really get into the shtick. and they had these fake afros, and they had the crazy, like aphrodisiacs type of stuff, right? They had all the crazy, costumes, and they were playing this great funk music. It was so much fun. We were having a great time. But that was one of the first times I really like keyed in on a band. Like, wow, they're like really like dressed up here, and they're really accentuating the goofiness of it, and I
Yeah.
don't know.
Had two of those bands. One was Mothership.
Okay. So
I'm just my
that's
screen went black.
P Funk.
Yeah, yeah. It was Mothership and Love Train were the two that we dressed up like that. They were full on stage personas. I wasn't even Mark Molloy on those gigs. Love Train. I was Kareem Abdul DeBarge the fourth,
Oh, geez.
and Mothership. I was the Reverend Jive.
Nice.
Did you wear the diaper?
No diaper on those, but
All right.
and one of them did have a spangly cape. It was all bell bottoms, bling, sequin shirts with tab collars down to here.
I can't tell you how awesome that is.
Oh, there were so many guys in Vegas. I take goofing up very seriously. So a lot of the guys that did those good gigs were like really like, this is so demeaning. I can't have to wear this clown suit. But they come up and hand it to me, and I'd be like, oh, this is awesome. I'd never wear that on the street.
Well,
We
you're also a very theatrical drummer, because I remember the first time I saw you with My Metal Heart, and you were like twisting sticks and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And I got to believe that showmanship probably came from a lot of the stuff that you did in Vegas, right? I mean, to kind of really highlight, what you were doing behind the kit.
kind of. I grew up in the '80s, so it really started there.
Mhm.
80s hair rock. Oh yeah, we were doing all
Yeah,
this.
every drummer's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got when I got to Vegas, I still did that even if it was even if it was a 70s disco gig. I was still thinking. And for my next impersonation, Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
And yeah, I view my time on stage as the time I want to be as entertaining to them as much as I'm entertaining myself. I have the time of my life behind a drum set, and I've had some people who are like, dude, why don't you just play instead of focus on them? I'm like, why don't you just enjoy the show and shut up?
Yeah, shit.
Why
Zip
is
it.
the punk rock museum in Las Vegas, Mark?
Because the guy that had the bankroll and the idea for it probably lived there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think it would be like in New York City, like by CBGB's, right?
Yeah, or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they wanted to put it in a place where people had less apathy.
Yeah.
I mean, New York would have been too punk rock, and people like, hey, there's the punk rock museum. They'd be like, so.
Yeah.
I lived it. I don't need to relive it.
Yeah. Now there were two museums. They had the Elvis Museum and the Liberace Museum in Vegas, and they were spectacular.
Haven't been to either.
Me
Oh.
neither.
Yeah, the Liberace one was one of my favorites. I mean, that dude was flamboyance personified.
Pride of Wisconsin. Rhodesy, how'd you hook up with Mark Molloy here? Are you guys going to be playing together, I hear, or something like
Yeah,
what's going on?
Mark is the fantastic singer for FiveMan Tribute Band, which will be debuting 2:15 at the Broken Oar. I would give you a time slot, but I'm not exactly sure what time slot we have yet. Do you know yet, Mark? Have you heard?
I have not heard yet. I just figured it's a surprise. I'm just going to show up early, and whenever they call me to the station, go okay.
Yeah.
But to answer your question of how we hooked up, here's the funny part. We'd known each other and met passing at gigs and stuff like that. But we performed together at one of the coterie benefit events.
Yeah,
And
Yacht Rock.
it was the
Yacht
Yacht Rock one. And whenever I do any of these like Andrew Blake Monster Jams, the coterie benefits, anything like that, I like to step outside of what I am commonly known or typecast for. So everybody up in that scene kind of knew me as the drummer for My Metal Heart. So of course Yacht Rock comes up, and I'm like, I'm going to up front and I'm going to sing Little River Band, Elvin Bishop.
Maurice, he
You
sings
know, and
chorus.
so everybody's like, really? The drummer for that band's good? Okay. And then I went up and just crooned the hell out of it and had the time of my life. And so this goofball sees me up there singing Little River
Louis,
Band.
brother Louis.
You know what he'd be awesome at singing? Tesla.
It was brother Louis. It was brother
Louis,
Louis.
yeah, brother Louis was the one. Yeah, that Louis.
Technically
Louis.
not a yacht rock song either.
No, well, you know,
But
yeah.
hey, they put it
Get
on the
up with
list.
Mike
And then,
D.
yeah, they just gave us the list of songs that were going to be at the yacht rock thing, and then someone put it on the list, and somebody else put my name on it, and I went, okay.
It wasn't me. I swear it wasn't me. It might have been me. Maybe it was. I don't know.
It was all part of his master plan. He was just like, if he can sing this.
Where did the
Yeah.
combined love of Tesla come from?
Well, for me, you know, I grew up, like Mark just said, I grew up in the 80s. So for me, you know, the first time I remember
Wait, hold
hearing,
on. You were like a Pet Shop Boy in the 80s. What are you talking about?
no, not at all. Actually, I was on the heavy side of the 80s. I mean, I'm Merciful Fate. I'm King Diamond. I'm the dark. I'm
Wait,
the
hold
dark
on.
dwarf
That's
over
not the
here.
picture you sent me, dude. You look like Bono.
Well, I was making money. That's the, you know, when you're in a corporate band, you got to have a certain look. But what I listened to when I was driving down the
Oh,
road.
sorry.
that's
What you
what
listen to. Okay.
No, but
Fell
There
out.
can be a very distinct difference. I learned that one in Vegas too. A very distinct difference in what you listen to and what you get hired to play.
that's right. Makes
You
me
answer
nervous
first.
most is when Mark, so Mark is singing, right? And I know Mark is a fantastic drummer, one of the best locally for sure, hands down, no arguments.
Thank you.
All of a sudden he's singing and we're jamming along, and all of a sudden I just kind of look up because, you know, Bongo Mike knows this about me. I'm kind of like off in La La Land when I'm playing. I'm not really paying attention to everybody else. All of a sudden I turn and I look, and there's Mark staring at me, just looking at me. And he's like all in like rock position and everything. And all of a sudden I just start laughing. But it makes me nervous. It's like a nervous laugh because I know how great Mark is. And it's sort of like, I'm just waiting for him to go, you're doing it wrong. You're not doing that right.
And
So that's what messed up your timing?
I know that gets in his head. So
It
I will
does.
essentially just take a moment and just stop and stare at him while I'm singing, and just
Yeah.
kind of, I'll give him the judgy head tilt, just to watch his watch his shoulders go. What?
But even if I was right, he'll still do it.
Oh, that's exactly when I do it, because I just, you know, I promise to not do it to in a
No,
show.
it's all good.
I just like to
I'm
poke the
kidding when I say
bear
it.
at the practices.
I am forever thankful that I've gotten to know you, and you are the singer for, you know, like I said, a Tesla band that, you know, we have tried for years and years and years to get this thing off the ground. And, you know, Guy Basilewicz and myself, we had these conversations, you know, almost 10 years ago, you know, and, you know, we've had a bunch of different players come in, and, you know, obviously I just read a text. We had another crazy person that wanted to be in the band, but, but yeah, so it's, you know, I am
It's
so
gonna hurt
thankful
recruiting.
that I can't even explain how geeked I am, you know, when we got together this past Sunday and just kind of ran through the show, and you know, it's just awesome. And Mark, like I said, he's super good, man. He's killing it. I just look at him and go, man, you're killing it. I get worried because, you know, Tesla's tough. You blow your voice out. But, you know, I think Mark, you know, Mark's a seasoned musician. He knows what his limits are in those things. So
I know when to stop pushing.
yeah.
You got to do 4 songs, right? Or he did 4 songs, so you can.
Well, eventually I'm going to try and squeak, you know, 2.5, maybe 3 hours out of him at some point.
Whoa.
Well,
This
we got
is
a
in
whole
Vegas.
3-hour show planned.
It's a lot of Tesla.
We have a whole 3-hour show planned. We'll do probably the first 3 albums, and then, you know, have a little like acoustic 5-man acoustical jam section in there that we'll have some liberties and maybe do some stuff that we want to do acoustically. Not necessarily. I mean, Tesla covered a lot of stuff.
Well, they have an album of all covers.
All covers.
All
Yeah.
covers.
I mean, you know, you could do Ball of
They did some
Confusion.
amazing renditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And they still are making them. I
Well,
just saw something not too long ago. It was a brand new release.
Did,
And
did,
I'm really glad that he called me to do this one too, because I've been waiting for someone to call for a tribute band that I could actually like really sink my teeth into. I mean, that guy had called and asked me to sing for his Jamiroquai tribute band, but I can't dance.
That would
So
have been fun. Disco Stew, man. That would have been fun.
I'm kidding. No, the funniest one is that someone called me to play drums for a Taylor Swift tribute band, and I'm just not into the music.
Mm.
So I texted the guy back. He's like, "What do you think?" He's like, "What do you think about doing a Taylor Swift tribute?" And I was like, "Well, I'd have to shave and wear a wig, but I think I could pull it off."
Take it off.
And he texted back. You wouldn't be Taylor. And I texted him back, "No deal."
So how did you get
I knew you were
involved
going
with
there.
members only? How did that happen?
One of the Monster Jams. Lisa is good friends with Elise, the singer for My Metal Heart, and they said they were looking for a drummer, and she asked her very politely, would it be okay if I asked Mark if he'd be interested in auditioning for a band? She's like, oh yeah. She's like, our calendar's getting much lighter this year. He could probably use the additional spots on the calendar. Go ahead, ask him. So she did. And but I thought it was so polite, that the girls in the music industry. Hey, is it okay if I ask? Oh, yes, it is. We need more guys to behave like that, really, honestly. But so yeah, I went and auditioned. They loved me, and it just became another excuse to drag some of my ridiculous drum sets out in rotation and.
Hey, I didn't see any footage from that show. Did anybody capture any video from your debut show with them?
It was the venue, right?
I did not see any footage of it yet.
Huh. Yeah, well, we'll see if we can find it. We can put it here.
Put it right here.
I do know, yeah. Our weekend for our Gordy Palooza weekend is actually be really, really busy for me because members only is playing that Friday and that Saturday, and then I'm doing Sunday with you guys. So one of them I'm really excited because it's at Bourbon Street, 115 Bourbon Street, which is like an 11-minute from my house, and I never get that. So I'm just like, yes, let's do that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's way down south.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I got like an hour and 15-minute drive to practice. Thanks, Chris.
Hey. Hey, we gave you the option to move it over to Ben's. I mean, I'm just saying he's in Buffalo Grove, not that that's any closer.
No,
that helps a little bit.
It does a little. Yeah,
it's fine. It gives me a nice long drive to warm up my voice before I start screeching,
You don't screech, man. Actually, like I said, I'm super impressed. I have to admit, man, you have exceeded every expectation. I think that any of us, Guy, Ben, and Art, I think that we had. I mean, you're bringing it, man. It's great. And you know what? We'll work out a song that you can play drums and I'll sing.
Oh, I know the song.
You hear it here first on the Hogpod.
Okay.
There's going to be a song in the Tesla band that Mark will play drums and I will get up front and sing.
Mark, you know what he's going to do? Time warp.
Oh, you heard about that one already? Yes. Have you seen the footage?
I've seen the footage. Yes.
We got footage.
Back to my story about going to the jams and the benefits and doing stuff that people would never in a million years expect me to do.
Mm-hmm.
They announced the theme on that one, songs from movie soundtracks, and immediately the goof in the back of my head went, I know what I must do. Because yes, I take goofing off very seriously.
That's a fun ass song. I don't care what you say, and I want to see Chris Rhodes sing it.
Do it, Chris. Do it.
Do it.
Okay.
You can do it.
Well, see, but then he's never going to escape the thing where he's worried about comparisons between me and him on there.
No.
Because I admit I went pretty far. I went the whole dance. I got the girls to wear the frickin' maids costumes.
I'm putting the video right here.
People threw toast at me on stage. It was like full blown Rocky Horror Picture Experience. I don't want to. That's an unfair one for him.
You can rely on production when it comes to Mark. Guaranteed, he will bring a production.
It will be
the most memorable thing ever.
We just watched Time Warp, Mark. How did that come about again? What was the event?
Well, the event was one of the Andrew Blake's Monster Jams. He does those the monthly open jam. There are no rehearsals or anything. and they pick a theme every month, and then they have people submit songs that should be there for that theme, and then everyone goes to the spreadsheet and puts themselves in. So he announced the theme for that month was songs from movie soundtracks, and I was just like, I have a funny idea, and because some of these people go to these and they take it very serious, and and like, oh, I'm going to do and show off how talented I am in this song, and I'm just like, I'm like, what's the funniest thing I can do this night? One of the other jams, I had an idea, and the song didn't make it to the list. I was really bummed because I was gonna throw Jungle from Morris Day and the Time on there, and I was gonna go. I was ready to go
A
up
full
with
bird?
the full gold lame vest. I was gonna have my drum check walk out with the mirror like, Jerome, bring me my mirror. Yes. Yeah, I was just gonna go wholesome. I was ready to go as far with that as I did with Time Warp, and it didn't make it to the list, and I was like, oh.
Hey, by the way, that's that same show. What'd you end up doing with that Whitney Houston tune? Did you go walk up front and then go back to the kit for the big?
Oh, yeah, I didn't. No, you know what I did on that one, because I wasn't singing. I wasn't singing in that one. I was just playing drums. But for the big, like, dramatic floor tom hit, I actually had Paul Wheeler come running up from side stage and hit the floor tom for me.
Oh, hilarious.
So I sit there and I raised the stick up like this, and I looked at everybody. I'm like, wait for it. And then Paul comes running in. Boom, whap. And I ran out.
Nice.
What are the websites for all the bands so we can get organized here, Mark and Rhodesies? Mark, go down the list, give us the URLs. How can we sell tickets for you? Go ahead.
I wish I could wrote down the one role.
I'll put it right here. Just give me.
I know My Metal Hearts. It's a Facebook page. I know there's a website and a Facebook page for members only. And the Tesla band is brand new. It's still under warranty. We just got a Facebook page up on that one right now. So, but if you hit the Facebook page for all three of them, you can also get a link to the website from My Metal for members only. You know what I mean, not what I say.
Yeah.
See.
Bongo,
you have interesting questions to ask, don't you?
I got lots of questions. The first question for Mark, though, is a question that I don't ask anybody. I only save it for certain people.
Yes,
because I've had a chance to jam with him on stage. We did the Ozzy tribute. We did a little jamming on the djembe. I sent Pete some pictures. I'll post those up there. But my question for Mark, as a drummer, how many kits do you own?
Don't answer, Mark.
Wait, what did you tell your wife?
No. The wife she's an enabler. I currently have 15 drum sets in my collection.
Okay, 15 full kits, and then what are we talking on cymbals? How many cymbals are we talking?
Oh, I want to say at least 6 to 7 full sets.
Wow. Okay. Splash, crash, hi-hat.
Yeah. Some might be as small as like my 67 Ludwig Superbeat has the original like crash ride, crash hi-hat.
Okay.
With it. That's considered that might be considered a little less than a full set for any other drum set, but it's really for that era of that drum set. That's exactly what it was set up there. But most of the time, my full set of cymbals is usually at least 2 crash, a ride, and a hat, if not more. If not, also having a splash of a china.
Yeah.
And then some of my configurations that I go full Nico McBrain from Iron Baytown.
And all those drum kits, all 15 drum kits, are all in cases?
With the exception of one there's a couple of them intentionally don't have cases.
Yeah.
One of them is this little miniature drum set that I built for playing acoustic duos and trios.
Yeah.
With like a little flat pancake bass drum and a little flat top.
Yeah.
And it's mounted to a rack with rolling casters, with locking casters on it.
Yeah.
So I don't even break it down. When I use that for like an acoustic gig, I literally roll it in one piece out to my car and just lay it in the hatchback. That's one of the mad scientist creations I built in the garage.
I want to commission one of those.
Yeah. So yeah, three of those drum sets are homemade drum sets I actually built in the garage. That's one of them. And then one of the other ones was I made this drum set for these country gigs. That the bass drum is 23 inches deep and it opens up like a road case, so the whole rest of the drum set stacks inside it like Russian dolls.
Yeah. It's almost like one of those suitcase types, right?
Yeah, except when you take it apart, it's like it's an actual full size drum set, resonant heads, and it sounds every bit as good as the EW Collector series. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a fun mad scientist collection. But I aged. It was for a country band, so I aged and distressed and relicked the wood on it to make it look as beat up as possible. And then I drew the lines in to make it look like a whiskey barrel. I put a copper banding under the lugs on it. And that one I don't have a case because the more beat up that one gets,
The better.
the more it fits the aesthetic. I've literally let kids throw rocks at it at the gig. You know,
I love that.
you know, the more that when I was building it, I was on the gravel pit on the side of the garage, just grouting the shell, whacking it with toe chains. You know, just enough to do cosmetic damage, but not enough to damage any plies on it. You know,
Yeah.
an amazing amount of work went into making it look like I didn't give a shit on a drum set.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
See, Rhodesy, now you're probably jealous. 15 kits.
Actually, I'm still trying to figure out, a lot of my friends like Mark and, Mike and the list goes on and on, man. I'm telling you, I'm always the one that's picked on for cymbals. I don't know why. I mean, I've got 4 full sets of cymbals, and that includes
Wait, are you
everything.
saying you've been cymbal shamed?
Yeah, I get cymbal
Yes,
shamed all the
we're
time.
cymbal shaming him. He's got so many cymbals. He gave me a bunch of cymbals he was going to donate.
I did give you a bag, didn't I?
He did. He gave me a bag of fucking cymbals.
But I get shamed all the time. Mark says it, man, and it's like, oh, that's cool. I say it, and it's like, oh, you got too much shit.
You know what? I'm the one to talk. I got a whole basement full of shit.
Yeah,
I
you
just
do.
don't have a ton of in terms of kits, I have just 3 full kits. And then everything else is all the, djembes and doumbeks and cajones and talking drums and, all that fun stuff. Anyway, I digress. I had to ask Mark because he has a shirt that says the more kits, the better,
It's got a cool Roto Tom kit, Mike.
I do have a shitload of rotos. And
No,
then
Mark's got a full kit of them. Like 8
Yeah.
through 16, isn't it? Or something like that?
6 through 18.
6 through
You
18.
selling any of those, Mark?
What?
You selling any of those?
Oh no! I literally just it took me a while to acquire all of them and then build the custom rack to hold them all.
Yeah.
I went and found the harder to find chrome ones. I put the chrome heads on it, rewrapped the bass drum in chrome with the mirror head on the front of it. Yeah, this thing on stage, depending on who you ask, it's either a spectacular light show or a seizure-inducing nightmare. So
Nice. I love that.
Especially with the chrome heads on it.
yeah. So when we're playing Bourbon Street, I mean, an 80s Roto Tom drum set just screams 80s.
Yeah.
But the thing is that monstrosity needs a drum riser big enough to fit it. So I can only bring it out to certain places. But 115 Bourbon Street, doing an 80s band, heck yeah, that whole thing's coming up that night.
And you also augment that with an electronic pad too.
Yeah, I use especially I use it quite a bit in My Metal Heart. But especially it's become like one of the primary units that gets used with members only because there's so many electronic overdubs and layers. A lot of the 80s stuff had a guy that kept through it, but then they had all these studio overdub layers of all these drum machines and Simmons pads and electronic sounds. And so Chris knows I have, I can't just sit there and just play just play something when I know there's something else cool going on. So
Yeah.
I got a lot of things with that one where in addition to the sample pad, I've got a trigger pedal to the left of the hi-hat on it and another pad on the right side of the kit. And I create and I go and I program specific sounds for those 80s songs, triggering loops, samples, and stuff. So a lot of that stuff, I utilize the heck out of it with members only, because I'll be like Jungle Love is probably the like the craziest one, because I'm playing the basic drum beat with my right foot, my right hand, and then my left hand, I start and stop a 16-note tambourine that goes in and out of the song. And while it's looping that, there's a hand clap that's on every other snare hit in there, and I'm playing that with my left foot on the pedal, and my right hand is playing the samba pattern on the high cowbell in there. So it's stupid limb separation on this one.
Yeah.
And
so
that's the Roland SPDS, right?
Yes,
yeah.
SPDS SX is that one.
Okay, you got I got the other one, the SPDS. I don't use it that much. I haven't. I've used it in the past, but I've refrained from taking it out these days. I just go with the standard drums. It's just another thing to hook up. But I got it.
Yeah. Actually, I had that one until I filled the memory on it, and then I was just like, ooh, I need it. And then there was a couple other things that I started being able to work with both starting and stopping loops and programming separate clicks. Because there's 4 outputs in the back of that one.
Okay, yeah, where the other one's got 2.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I will send a stereo out on that one, and then I have one output that goes out where I so anything that has any semblance of a loop to the a phrase on it, you have to make sure you're in time with it.
Oh yeah.
So I have everything programmed, a tempo for each of those programs, and one strike of one pad will give me a click, but I can turn it on and off when I want. Just okay, I've got the tempo and I can turn it up, let it flow. But I also know that most of the bandmates don't feel like listening to a click through half of a song either. So I have that just submixed in FiveMan.
Yeah.
And then I have a separate out that I'll use for whatever, anytime any band that's using all in-ear monitors. After I get I'll get my tempo reference on it. I'll give them a count in on a separate pad that goes just to their in-ear mix. So instead of having to hear that she on the hi-hat on there, I can just give 4 taps on it, and the whole band starts on the one like you're listening to the album.
Yeah. Cool. Love it.
So I just love playing with all of my toys. So
I hadn't noticed.
It just becomes it. Yeah, I don't even get paid to play music. I play the music for free. I get paid to just move the drum set around. Once I'm there, I will play it all night. And then sometimes you get to you're going to a place that has a drum riser the size of a postage stamp. Yeah, I'll bring out the little set for that. But if I have an opportunity for a band that I can actually utilize other toys, I'm probably the only dummy in his mid-50s that is playing the largest drum sets he ever had in his life. Or everyone else is getting up in age, and we're all
just you and Oz.
Scale this down. I'm just like, when do you see my Iron Maiden special?
Actually, you know what? Honestly, Mark, it's just you and Oz. You two would bring the biggest. He'll bring his freaking Mangini kit out if he has the space for it.
Man, less is more for me. I'm done hauling all that stuff.
The last 3 years, I brought out the biggest drum sets I've ever owned. I went the exact opposite direction. Everyone's like, "You're a dummy." I'm like, "I know." But now at the same time, I will only bring out what the gig actually needs. Like I've been called to sub gigs for like a country band, and I'll bring out the little whiskey barrel 4-piece kit that I built for country bands. That's fine. It does a gig perfectly. But there was one time, just once, I got called to sub for a country gig. I told Chris the story, and I brought out the entire 9-piece Premier Resonator Crayola yellow, like Iron Maiden special. Every tom size they had made in that series, dual floor toms, a thing, 9x14 snare. It was literally the Iron Maiden special. I dragged that entire thing out for this country gig, only because I thought it would be hilarious. And everybody thought it was hilarious except the sound guy.
Yeah. He probably didn't want to mic up half that stuff.
I'm like, dude, if you want to make up just a kick snare rack floor, that's fine. I won't play. I said, I just wanted to put this in your face because I thought it'd be funny. No, it's fine. You brought it. You're probably gonna hit it with a stick. I need to mic it. And I'm just like, all right.
It's just for show.
Yeah, that particular time, it wasn't even. It was, I guess, technically for show, but it was really just because it was amusing to me.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Mark.
I'm a very selfish comedian. I crack myself up all the time. Occasionally, other people join, and that's a bonus, but it's by no means necessary.
What kind of stand do you put that 14x9 on? They even make a
I
stand
actually had to
for that?
hunt around until I found a Tama Road Pro. They make a low model.
I was gonna say put floor tom legs on it. What? I mean, it's basically a floor tom at that
Like a
point.
snom out of it. Yeah. No, I did hunt down because I needed that snare stand I needed for when I used that ridiculous deep snare. I also found out I needed that really heavy snare stand to hold up the boat anchor snare drum that I built.
Yeah.
I built this snare drum. It was laid out of a solid piece of high carbon steel, and it's about 5/8 of an inch thick.
Oh my
And
god.
it turned into a 34.8-pound snare drum.
Does it say what is it, about 50?
34, almost just under 35.
Is that with or without the hardware? Or is that just the shell?
Yeah, that's the whole drum.
Okay.
Still, yeah, it's like even like the Noble and Cooley cast snare drums, the ones that they made out of the Zildjian alloy.
Yeah.
And those are roughly about an 18-pound snare. So
I was gonna say the Bell brass I have, it's 20 pounds. I put
Yes.
it on the scale.
yeah, 20.
Your arms are gonna fall
Yeah,
off.
I beat that by 14.5 pounds on that one. It's dumb.
Oh,
All right. So now I know this is a lot of drum talk. Now we're gonna
a lot of drum nerdery.
Yeah,
going
sorry
on.
guys.
I could see it on Pete. Like I'm enjoying it, but I could see it on Pete. All right. So
No.
now we're gonna get
Next
to
question.
the easy questions. First question for Mark.
Favorite
All
color
the
is blue.
fans want to know, what was your very first concert? And I'm talking big concert, not some kind of high school band thing that you watched your friends play. First paid concert.
Iron Maiden, somewhere on tour.
Was that 86?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, right about that time.
Wow. Somewhere in time. Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Very cool.
And we got to go backstage.
What?
And it was super confusing because as teenagers, these are our rock gods. They are bigger than life. We got backstage, and the tallest dude in the band came up to hear on me.
I was gonna say Bruce Dickinson's like 5'3".
Yeah,
Sure.
they were the hottest band in the Shire, man. They were just, and we didn't know what to do because, and the big giant rock persona, gone. Polite as can be, clasping there. Yeah. Steve Harris was actually sipping a cup of tea with a saucer. Yeah. I'm glad you liked the show.
Yeah,
you did, yeah. And you're just like shaking their hands. You're like, you're my hero.
I love it.
It was really confusing for us at that age.
Yeah, well, because you said you see him on stage with all the theatrics and the ginormous Eddie and all the lights and everything, and then here they are backstage like regular guys, sir. Right?
Yeah.
Hello.
We saw them on stage, and we saw Eddie come out. We thought Eddie must be 9 feet tall, and then we saw the band. And you're like, he might be like 6'2".
Yeah. Nice. What? Let's see here. Next question. This is an easy one. Favorite action movie?
I thought you said it was an easy one.
Gotta be a movie you love to watch, an action flick. I don't know. It could be a romantic movie if you want a romantic.
I will go back to the one that made me fall in love with the whole genre of action movies altogether. Star Wars: A New Hope.
Nice.
Because it basically was the catalyst. It started my love for sci-fi.
Yeah.
So and action. So
Okay.
you got to give it props.
I like it. I like it. That is an
Hold on, I
interesting.
want to slow the roll here because we're almost done. But what movie is that? I've never heard of it.
Star Wars. The
Star Wars.
original-
Oh, the first Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars episode
No.
4. Yes. Sorry, I over geeked this.
Episode 4, actually, isn't it? It's episode 4.
Yeah, I said episode 4. Yeah, episode
Yeah,
4.
the- Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't know
It's
it
not
was
Star
episode
Wars.
4.
It's the other one.
Jim Hart is screaming right now. You idiots!
He's gonna blow up. He's
All
gonna
right.
blow up.
Sorry. Go ahead, Bongo.
Sorry, Jim.
No, hey, it is what it is. My next question for you is very timely because today is the day, right? Puxatani Phil, real or bullshit?
I hesitate to use the word bullshit. I won't say it's real, but I will say that it's created its own event. It's like tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We were talking about it at the beginning of the show. Me and Pete were spitballing on it, and I don't believe the rodent. I just
I
think
got you, babe.
You're gonna get what you get.
Yeah, well, yeah, you are going to get what you get, but it is a fun seasonal tradition. If people actually thought him spotting it, if they could prove that if he spotted it, and we were getting 6 more weeks in winter, that thing would have been in sniper crosshairs a long time ago.
The bullshit he reads is already written before they pull the little rat out of the box.
Actually, I really enjoyed the time a couple of years back when Puxatani Phil bit the guy's ear. That was my favorite time. I don't know why.
he full Tysoned him. Yeah.
Yeah, he
full on Mike
bit the
Tyson.
guy's ear. Hey, whatever. You're holding the critter. Who knows? Favorite pig out food? Like, you're gonna order something. What is it? Chicago. It could be Chicago. It could be your favorite food from Las Vegas. I don't know. What do they got out there? Everything. So, or it could be Chicago.
Yeah.
Pizza.
Oh,
whatever.
they have everything. None of it's good as it is back home. Chicago has got a big 3. Like when I first moved back, a great Italian beef sandwich, great pizza, and a rainbow cone, man.
Okay, so where are you? Okay, I know where you get the rainbow cone at. Where are you getting your beef? Where are you getting your pizza from?
I found out that as good as there are around so many nice places, we're spoiled because in Vegas, if you find a good pizza, well, you have one favorite pizza place.
Right.
Chicago, it's like choosing a favorite color. We have a selection.
Yeah.
I will say thin crust, Traversos was my favorite. Stuffed crust or pan pizza, gotta go Giordano's.
Okay.
Italian beef, as good as so many of them are around here, I found my favorite is from Nick's Barbecue.
Where's that?
They used to call it Nick's Fat Boy, and then they just changed the name to Nick's Barbecue. It used to be off of Harlem, and then they moved it to Allsip. And there's something,
Jesus
some
Christ.
slight intangible thing to their Italian beef that makes it just the best.
I'm gonna guess that Rhodes isn't going to Allsip to get his beef, but I'm just
Yeah, the only time I ever see Allsip is when I'm coming back from Indianapolis or something. That's the only time I ever
Jesus
see that.
Christ, Allsip. Hey, it is what it is. It's
You know
Yeah,
what it is?
so
It's
then
one,
we're
of
like,
those,
geez, all the way to Allsip, I could throw a rock from here and hit
it's
it.
one of those towns that you realize that you're back in Illinois.
Bongo, you got time for one more question. If you
Uno
only had one
mas.
question left, what would it be?
Mark, this is the $1,000 question.
The answer is 42.
Pop-Tarts, love them or hate them?
I'm kind of indifferent. I don't mind them, but
No.
it's not one of those things where I go, oh, bro, Pop-Tart.
All right.
if I'm if I'm near the toaster and my kid's making a Pop-Tart and goes, hey, you want a Pop-Tart? Okay.
See? All right. That's a
There
good
you go.
answer.
It just can't be strawberry. I'm deathly allergic to strawberries.
Are you really?
Oh yeah, it's a neat party trick. I can only do it once.
So
like Willy
what happens
Wonka?
is just like,
Oh yeah, and you have to have an EpiPen handy and GPS pre-programmed to the nearest quick care. Yeah,
All right. Strawberries. It's Mark's kryptonite.
yes it is.
Mark Molloy, man, thanks for hanging with us, putting up with us.
Mark, you're awesome, buddy.
Thank you, guys. If you ever want to do this again and restrict my tirade and say, okay, Mark, we're solely asking questions, we can do that, and that way I can't.
That's somebody else's
wander off
podcast.
Yeah, that's
Our podcast is to let you talk. We want to get to know you. We want to know what you're doing, what projects you're in. So when someone's going out to the bars, they go, "Oh yeah, Mark Molloy. We remember that guy was on the Hog podcast, and he likes Italian beef from Allsip, and he doesn't not a big Puxatani Phil fan."
and he's the singer for
And
Rhodes.
he never shuts up.
It's okay, Mark. We'd rather
Perfect.
have you talk than not talk.
Hey, we need minute chewers for this show. Trust me. Rhodesy, Bongo Mike, Mark Molloy, man, have a great night. Another episode of the Hogpod, Chicago Local Music Scene Podcast.
You guys.
Six more weeks of winter. Kiss my ass, that damn
Yeah,
little
little
rat.
rat bastard.